Okay, so this is the base of my telescope, and this here is where the mirror is. This is what I need to remove and actually clean. So what I've done is I have taken the screws out of the bottom, but before I remove this housing from this white piece, what I have done is I have marked two of my holes so that way I know where they match up. This is just in case if any of the bore holes are slightly off just a little bit where they were drilled. That way, if there is any slight difference all the way around, I'm not going to fight with this trying to put it back together. And then what I will end up doing is sliding this out. I have to make sure that I do not damage it while I'm doing so. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all of my grips that I have here. And as you can see here, I don't know if you can notice this or not, but that actually has a little bit of play on every single one of them. Now, when you are tightening your screws back onto the mirror, you want to make sure that you are toggling back and forth in between the two screws and making sure that you are not gripping too much on your mirror, because if you are, you can chip or crack the edge of your mirror and that will run down the center of your mirror. You do not want to do that. The next thing is that I want to make sure that I match up each one of these to the original housing that is on this mirror, just in case there is any differences in between placement, how they were put in. I want to make sure that each screw matches the hole that it was in and the placement that it was on the actual housing. So what I have here are some red dots, and I'm just going to place one. And I've already cleaned this, just this edge, in between these two pieces. So I've got a red dot there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to number each one of these 1 through 6. So now I'm going to take Grandpa's knife and just slice through each one of these. So now all of them have been sliced through, and now I can start removing these. Now also, when you're removing these, you do not want to slip and hit your telescope mirror, but you also don't want to lay anything on top of your telescope mirror, because if you do, all this dust will scratch the surface. Okay, as we can see here, I'm not going to use my screwdriver in order to remove them from the last little bits, and you can actually feel when they're starting to get to the very end of. So now we've removed one. I'm going to place this one on my right hand side, and now we're going to remove this second one. Okay, this is make or break time. Does Robin break the mirror all the way from releasing it from the housing and bringing it over here to the sink? I'm going to gingerly dip this down into the solution and let it roll the solution across the mirror. Okay. Now, I was right. There is definitely a film of smoke attached to this glass. So I'm going to lay this in and just let that soak. Now, do you see these bubbles here? That is that film that is coming off of the mirror. That is the acid eating away at that. Now you're going to take your cotton balls that you have soaked into your 50-50 solution of vinegar and isopropyl alcohol, and you're going to stretch those out just a small amount, just that way you can get them to go across just the two middle fingers of your hand, and you can grip them with your pinky and your index finger. Just like that. So now what you're going to do is you are going to roll that cotton ball as you're going from the inside out to the edge. And you don't want to drag your cotton ball across, but you want to roll it across to pick up. From the center out, that is one swipe per cotton ball. Now you're going to do the same thing with dry cotton balls from the inside out to the edge. One swipe per cotton ball, rolling it as you go. Now grab two business cards, and you are going to use these in order to measure how far down that you are actually going to screw your housings back around the mirror itself. If you cannot move your business cards against one another, you know that you are coming down too close to the glass, so you'll want to loosen those by turning left in order to release them just a little bit. You always want them to move. If they can't move, you know you've gone down too far. Place your mirror back into the housing and back into the tube. Replace all of your screws, matching everything up. Then put your secondary mirror back in and collimate.